Oh, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Shed of Dread. And before we get cracking into the next article, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if that's at all possible. Any case, let's get into this one. Right then, Indiana Jones 5 star Phoebe Waller-Bridge says maybe in the future we'll see a Helena Shaw spin-off. No, we won't, twat. During a recent interview with Variety, Phoebe Waller-Bridge sat down to talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or now as the Dial of Dysentery, because it's literally dropping like a stone. We'll cover that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And during the conversation, a spin-off film following her character Helena Shaw was brought up. She explained that sometime in the future it could happen, saying, "There is no replacing Indiana Jones in any way, even though through the whole of the film that I've actually sat and watched, not through the cinema by the way, by other means, if you know what I mean. Yeah, dude, that's your whole job is just there to demean, destroy, and ruin the character of Indiana Jones. In any case, but I feel that like the character herself, which is without doubt one of the most annoying characters in movie history. God, I mean, Jar Jar Binks is now no longer the most annoying character in my book. In any case, she did feel fresh on the page. No, she was a horrible, nasty, irritating bitch. And there is a sense of, is the room in the world for someone like this? No, they're usually got rid of because they're annoying. No one likes them. So do I think there's room for a slightly clumsier, bruised, leaping female action star? Maybe in the future. Shut up, woman. Honestly. And that's not a derogatory term, because she's the worst thing in the Indiana Jones film. The first 20 minutes, pretty good. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to lie. The first 20 minutes with the de-aging stuff, that's Indiana Jones. Yeah, then she turns up and then it just, forget it, it's just shite. Helena Shaw is the goddaughter of Indiana Jones, and when previously talking about the character, Waller-Bridge said, "I think they really achieved something extraordinary. She fits into the canon." No, the canon was adjusted to make her fit. And she feels like there's a certainly an energy that she shares with all the characters. No, she uses the character. She's horrible. And they've become before, especially with the female parts, but she is unique, annoying. She has a fresh, really annoying voice. She was somebody who was mysterious from the off. No, you knew exactly what she was there. I think Indy's often been a mystery to those characters before, especially his female counterparts. Not really. Not really at all. Shows that you've never watched any of the original films. And I think there's something really unusual how they flip that here. Yeah, by destroying Indiana Jones as a character and just making a film that makes Crystal Skull look good. I like the character in the film. Of course she did, because it was you being a dickhead. She brought a fun aspect to the story. No, it was irritating. Let's not forget your shorter round, your version of short round. Who's an amazing guy as well, because he's a kid who can fly a plane with no training, and fly it through turbulence and time traveling portals. I know. If I was going to be interested in any Indiana Jones spin-off project, it would be the one that follows the adventures of Kui Hui's short round. It would be interesting. See, that's the only one that makes sense to me. But who knows what will happen? Well, that won't happen. Even though Ke Huy Quan's is a brilliant actor, absolutely awesome actor. The one thing we do know that is director James Mangold is not interested. Don't get me wrong, James did a best job with what he could do, but the script was awful, and the premise of the film was just a waste of time in making a spin-off film for Helena Shaw, because no one wants it. No one is remotely interested in a Helena Shaw spin-off, only you, because it's another paycheck for you. He said, "I'm not interested. I refuse. I just cannot do it." The amount of lore and Easter eggs and fan service starts to become anti-ethical to any of this stuff at a certain point. It isn't storytelling anymore. It's large-scale advertising. James Mangold, the man has a brain. And as I said, he did the best direction he could with what was given. I'm not going to knock his direction at all. It's just, he ain't Spielberg. Let's be honest. Yeah, the action sequences are good, but they're not as good. Now, just because he won't do it doesn't mean that Lucasfilm and Disney won't bring in someone else that would. Yeah, let's just try and milk this cash cow while Disney drops. I'll show you some information in a minute, but it'll be interesting. I just think that Indiana Jones franchise should end with Dial of Dysentery. No, it ended in The Last Crusade. The other two films are just shit and they don't count. Indiana Jones is a perfect trilogy, and that's how it should stay. You know, a bit like Back to the Future. Perfect trilogy should be left. But Lucasfilm president Kathleen I destroy every franchise I can get my teeth into Kennedy previously talked about the franchise continue, saying it's entirely possible, but we're not having one of those conversations right now. We're just focused on finishing this with Harrison, and you managed to completely destroy the character. So while we're on about that, just to give you an idea, Indiana Jones and the Tent Pole of Doom, profit given market estimates, theatrical gross of only, right, China. This is what they've made so far, right? 22.5%, just 2 million. Investor cut. International, 67 million, 27 million. Domestic week 1, 60 million. I know it's dropped lower than that for 2 and 3. Budget, 325 million. It's a lot more than that. A lot more than that. I think the quote 360 odd million has been bandied around. P&A, that's advertising, 100 million. And costs, that's everybody, 425 million. Gross is, so what they need to do now, if you take out all of that, yeah, it needs for a profit 361,181,639, and it's going to be nowhere near that. Nowhere near that at all. It's dead in the water. It's now been beaten by a film that talks about child abduction, human trafficking, and it's apparently a really gritty film. It pulls no punches. But of course, that film is now being made out to be something to do with right-wing conspiracy theories due to some people and some media organisations. It's a film that cost just over 14 million, and it's already made that back in its first weekend, beating Indiana Jones into second place. Disney is in trouble. Lucasfilm is in trouble. But instead of stopping, putting their hands in their pockets and having to think about what's possibly going wrong, they're just going to come out. I mean, Elemental, the film that brings out apparently the first non-binary character in a Disney animation, opened to $2 million on its opening weekend. That's it. And the thing is, Indiana Jones at the moment may have it. I mean, it's been beaten by an independent film on human trafficking. And next week, or this week coming actually, we get Mission Impossible coming out. So if you think Indy's going to go anywhere, it just really isn't. People aren't interested in this film. They didn't want this film. Kathleen Kennedy decided to use it, as she's done with all the other legacy characters in all the other franchises, and demean them and destroy them and humiliate them and make them wastes of space, because the Force is female, everything is female, and that is why you're failing. Any case, I'm done. As always, social media up above. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. If you do subscribe, ding that little bell, select it all, and you should get a notification from YouTube that I've done another video. And with that, I'm done. And you need to go that way. Exit stage left. And just leave the shed. Goodbye now.